Climbing in solo is quite dangerous. I would not recommend to people to do that. I started to solo climb very young. I was 13, 14. But you must know that if you fall, you are dead. But I like it. I never take risk. I don't like to be scared, but when the climb is not too hard for me, I enjoy it a lot because you feel free to climb as fast as you want and you feel free to do whatever. And you have the impression that you are a very good climber, so that it's quite enjoyable. But that's all. It's not something you must do every day because it's not very good to get used to. If you do that too much, you forget that you don't have ropes, so it's not good. To be a good climber or a good mountain climber, you need two qualities. The most important is to have confidence and to have the determination to do something. And why you have confidence? It's just because you have a lot of experience and you know exactly what you are able to do. When I solo climb, if I would be afraid, I couldn't climb at all. But I'm afraid to be afraid. So that's why I take care not to find the dangers and to avoid the dangers. When you climb, you find you express yourself, but in a fun way. In fact, I found my balance like this. I think it was good for my life.
Before she sets out on the solo climb, Catherine had decided to use a safety rope for the second pitch. Even this first bit's slightly unnerving because although your feet are on a big ledge, the rock bulges awkwardly above you and there's a danger of your feet just skating off and you overbalancing. She seems to have made pretty light weather of that.
Ça marche pas terrible. Traverser. It's not very good on traverse.
I think that this self-belaying system works very well on vertical and clean rock, but it's obviously a bit more difficult to arrange when she's going sideways.
Now it would be better.
But from now on she is going straight up, so with luck it'll sort itself out. It's a system that many climbers would find incredibly complicated to use, and it seems to me to be something you can quite easily get wrong. But she's pulled all the rope up onto the ledge behind her, and it should run relatively freely now. Let's see. Every time she moves, she's got to give herself enough slack to do the next few moves before the rope catches up against this device called a gree-gree. It is critical to the whole operation. So she's just coming up now to the first serious challenge on this pitch, which is an overhang which looks quite intimidating, but isn't perhaps quite as difficult as it looks once you commit yourself to it. You can see the overhang above her head, and what Catherine's got to do is move up and then step round to the right, get her feet up on the right wall, and actually the holds are quite reasonable, if rather sandy.
C'est chiant, elle arrête pas de se bloquer, mon truc.
The temptation always is to get stuck in cracks. They seem to be comforting, but here you've got to abandon the crack and move out right. Yeah, she's got to get her feet up on the right wall. There she goes, that's it. Feet up, don't get too far in. Ah, here she goes. Yes, both feet up on the right wall. and no, she's made that look ridiculously easy. She's just waltzed up it really. What Catherine's particularly good at is distributing her weight. You can see she's pressing, pulling, pushing, gaining height almost effortlessly, spreading the load, bridging out with her feet and hands. Lovely to watch. Although Catherine isn't exactly muscle bound, she's got immense power to weight ratio and great reserves of finger strength should she need it. She can hang on one arm for as long as it takes, but let's hope she doesn't have to. And really these next moves are the crux of the whole climb. You can see what to do with your hands, but as you climb out of the crux, your feet, it's very easy to get your feet lost and out of sight, and you have to work out very carefully what you're going to do with them, otherwise you just end up dangling off your arms and unable to make any more progress. It's a pretty alarming position, this. And although she's now posed over about 200 feet of empty space, really the next 2 or 3 moves should see her into a much more reasonable, imbalanced situation. In fact, she's already probably done the hardest bit. She's got a very good hand jam for her right hand, slotted firmly into that crack on the right. I'm not too sure I want to pull on that flake with the left hand, not this sort of sandstone, but the right hand should be slotted into that crack above, like that. That's nice and secure. You can see on the left these tatty old ropes that have been abandoned, and she certainly doesn't want to get anywhere near those. She's really done almost the last hard move of the climb. Once she gets her foot up above the slot, she should be okay. Now she's going to put a big flexible cam into the crack.
If you hear me, it's very wet. Wet, absolutely wet.
Yeah, the water may have seeped down from the upper part of the climb into the crack, and that would make it extremely awkward for her. She's now about 60 feet up the crack and about as far away from the belay. I hate to think what would happen if she fell off here. Her problem is that she would fall out into space because she's climbed 2 overhangs now, and she really is some 10 feet out from the belay at the bottom of the climb. Obviously climbing on wet rock is more strenuous. You have to make more of an effort to make your hands and feet stick.
Merde, tiens. It's very wet. Dangerous.
Took the words out of my mouth. I mean, in fact, I think she probably is okay, but it must be very unnerving to suddenly find, particularly as I say, it hasn't rained for a day, that you're suddenly on wet, slimy sandstone. Sandstone when it's wet is particularly insecure feeling. As you can see, she's only really got about another 10 or 15 feet to go, and really she has cracked the hardest bit now. It's not, in fact, she's now onto relatively big ledges. I think probably this rock is perfectly dry, and she should be okay now. In fact, she's got to the belay ledge.
Also, I don't like to have some people above me. I don't like people has to think. Sometimes they forget what I'm doing, so I don't want them to be imprudent. And so I want to make sure that they realize that it's hard. It's not like I have no ropes.
Above the dangerous second pitch, the climbing is more straightforward, and Catherine leaves behind her complicated rope protection system and climbs on free and unencumbered. Catherine is about to come face to face with the old man's next and nastiest line of defence.
Shh, not move. Bird. Oh, merde.
Not only is it a shock to be puked on from point-blank range, but from now on, Catherine's face, hair and clothes will be covered by a vile-smelling concoction of half-digested fish and fish oil. Once again, the old man is proving a very different proposition to the sunny limestone crags of the south of France or the granite walls of Colorado. On these narrow ledges, Catherine moves with total self-confidence, seemingly oblivious of the 300-foot drop below her. She climbs so naturally and with such elegance that it's easy to forget the combination of skill, concentration and experience that she has amassed over a lifetime of climbing at the very highest level.
Oh putain, un oiseau. Hey, hop. Psst. Psst. Hey, hop. Hey, hop.
Now, after 90 minutes, Catherine is about to start the final pitch. She's now climbing well within her capabilities and is in total control.
Since I became a professional, nothing changed. I still like to climb, I still like being in the mountains. So I'm lucky to be able to do what I want, what I like. When I want to do something for myself, it's possible. And only for myself. I like to control everything. And I think it's very important to have the control. Like that you don't feel pressured. And if you don't want to kill yourself, it's better not to have pressure behind you. And I don't want to do climbs only for money or for publicity. It's not healthy.
On the verge of achieving this, her latest dream, Catherine is nearly 450 foot above the sea. She has overcome the weather, the wet rock, and the unwelcome attention of the seabirds. Just a few feet to go now before she pulls out onto the rock-strewn summit, and it's all over. For Catherine, already 3 months pregnant, climbing the Old Man of Hoy is a landmark in every sense of the word. Will motherhood change this remarkable woman? As she climbs the last few feet, she looks forward to a life of new challenges.
I still have some dreams, so I don't know what I will do. But so I will have a child very soon, so we'll see. But I think I will go on climbing, maybe in another way. We'll see.